Hello, I'm Bernie Bro, and I'm on a roll today with a lot of ranting to get out of my chest. I'm here to crusade for Bernie Sanders in 2020 and beyond. I'll make it short and sweet. For many, many years, I've always been pretty much an independent. I started off as a Democrat, then I became a member of the Socialist Party USA, had a little bit of fun at it, very rewarding, very informative. I think I'm a better person in spite of some of the crap that went on in there, and the taking over by some questionable people later on, where the character of the party changed. But I still kind of see things through the eyes of somebody that was in the Socialist Party USA in the 1990s. Well, I think that this country done a disservice to themselves by not having a viable labor or social democratic party. And some people be like, well, you got the Democrats, that's where the workers are at, and that's where the disenfranchised and that's where the people are. Well, yeah, it's true, but the Democratic Party would be considered a conservative party in another country. The Overton window effect. We have a warped Overton window, not a normal Overton window. Because if our Overton window was normal, the Democrats in the United States would not be called a liberal party, they'd be called a conservative party. It just so happens that the Democratic Party is a center right party, and the Republican parties are way off the rails into extremist territory. So that's the difference. You got conservative, and then you got hardcore fundamentalist, right wing, crazy people. Maybe some sane people in the Republican Party, but mostly crazy, crazy lunatics. And then you got the Democrats who are happy to stand for nothing. In fact, I would say that the Democratic Party, and some people may call bullshit on this, but I would say if you put the Democratic Party in the UK, it'll be in some ways maybe slightly to the right of the British Conservative Party. So there you have it. Why on earth Bernie Sanders and AOC and other progressives run in the Democratic Party? Well, realistically, what else is there? I mean, that's viable. So it's understandable why the left coalesced inside the Democratic Party. And I temporarily re-register as a Democrat here in North Carolina, so I can go and vote for Bernie Sanders in the Democratic primaries. I wouldn't get any shit from them at the voting stations, because I was registered in the Green Party. So I went and registered as a Democrat temporarily, and as soon as I could, after I voted Bernie Sanders, I went to the Board of Elections and I re-registered back into the Green Party. And who knows if the Green Party remains on the ballot? I may run for an office one of these days. Just got to see what my options are and see what happens from here on. But right now, I'm doing this channel, and I'm here to promote Bernie Sanders. But I'm also here to promote the idea of a Labor Party. I think that the absence of a Labor Party in the United States is the reason why we do not have a national health care system. It's the reason why we do not have at least one half of the population, working population, in a labor union. Where now it's less than 10%. We have one of the lowest unionization rates in the industrialized world. You compare that to what, 40% of the workforce or something like that in Canada, or in Norway, Sweden, Denmark, where it's up in let's see, like 90% of the workforce, 9 out of 10 people in Norway, Sweden, and Denmark belong to a labor union, and they have the highest standard of living in the world. Even even after Margaret Thatcher savaged the union movement in the UK, their unions are still stronger than we are over here. So a weakened labor union movement, trade union movement that's almost non-existent in the United States. My previous job, I belonged to a labor union. It was a rather weak union, but it was better than nothing. Um, Absence of a national health care system and a safety net that's kind of tattered is the reason why we are behind. And I think that maybe the way to remedy that is through a Labor Party. And folks, it could happen if the Democratic Party, and they are fucking over Bernie Sanders, but if they really do what they did in 2016 and repeat. A lot of people saying they don't see how the Democratic Party can survive this. Some people are going to blame Bernie Sanders. No, you don't blame Bernie Sanders. You don't blame AOC. You don't blame the squad. You don't blame leadership council. The corporate centrists that control the Democratic Party, a corporate owned media that keeps the narrative in the mediocre center. Folks, it doesn't have to be this way. I mean, I wish we could be like Canada, where if I was in Canada, I would be in the new Democratic Party of Canada. Would have to choose between the Liberals and the Conservative. I could belong to the NDP. Or in England, I could belong to the British Labour Party in the UK. Or I could belong to the Social Democrats in Sweden, or the Parti Socialist in France, Socialist Party. Or just any country has a viable center left party. I wish that we could have an independent Labor Party in this country. Really do. And it may be that day could come sooner than we think. It may not be called a Labor Party or Social Democratic Party. Knowing America being the way it is, it probably will call itself something like the Progressive People's Party, or I like the Progressive Populist Party. And even, I say bring back the name the Old Farmer Labor Party that used to exist up in places like North Dakota, Minnesota, places like that. Or just simply be the Progressive Party, the party of Teddy Roosevelt, or in 1912, or Robert La Follette in 1924, or former Vice President Henry Wallace under FDR when he formed the Progressive Party in 1948. Don't confuse Henry Wallace, a good man, relatively good man, with George Wallace, the vile racist from Alabama that ran for president later on in the 1968 American Independence Party. Please don't confuse the two. But suffice to say, we really do need to break up the two-party system in this country, and the sooner the better. I'm Bernie Bro. Feel free to comment, good, bad, or indifferent. Subscribe, peace, and for a non-violent revolution. Bringing back the legacy of Eugene Debs and Norman Thomas. Take care.